Hello friends, welcome back to part 19 of my Tesla earnings forecast video review series. I am joined as always by my co-host, Loki the Chihuahua, who decided to come over here and hang out with me a little bit. So, thought I would say hi to you. Sometimes people lose perspective on how big a dog Loki is, so it's fun every so often when he wants to come over here and hang out with me to have Loki here. So you can see what a tiny little dog this little one is. Okay, let's keep the party rolling. I'll turn Loki's bed cam on. Let's see if he'll jump over his water dish and get back into his bed. But in any case, there he goes. I'll share my screen with you and we'll keep the party rolling down the page from where we left off, which was this blue row, GAAP net income, less regulatory credits. And we'll get to a more fun section where we look at total Tesla deliveries by site and by model, and you can see some of the points that I've been making along the way. So, Fremont Model S. How much am I forecasting for Fremont Model S this year? Not a lot more than Tesla actually reported in 2022. So they actually report these together, the Model S and the Model X. So last year, Tesla sold 66,704 Model S and X vehicles globally. Believe it or not, that's less than they used to sell back in 2017 or 2018 when it was extremely hard to get a Model 3. Like the wait time for Model 3 was 2 or 3 years because the backlog was so long and Tesla was producing them at such a low rate. So if you wanted the Tesla, you had to get a Model S or a Model X if you wanted one in any reasonable period of time. So Tesla used to sell a lot more of those. What am I forecasting for 2023? 82,642, so not a whole lot more. Let's see what it was in 2021. Well, the Model X was down. For Q2, it was a 0. Only 25,000 Model S and X vehicles got sold in 2021 due to the Plaid refresh for both of those models. Then in 2020, it was 57,000. In 2019, it was 66,771. And in 2018, as I mentioned, it was almost 100,000. It was 99,451. Oh, I just realized why you guys don't understand where I'm getting those numbers from. It's because you can't see it. It's off the edge of my window here, but I've been referencing this little number down here, the sum, as I drag a box around these areas. That's where I've been getting the totals. I'm not that good at mental math that I can just look at 8 numbers and instantly add them up in my head. Yet. Maybe one day I will be that good, but I'm not that good so far. So that's S and X. Then for the Fremont-based Model 3, how many of those did Tesla sell last year? I've got 233,512 in my earnings forecast model. That's going to be real close to what Troy Teslike believes Tesla's Fremont Model 3 deliveries were last year, because I try to match as closely as I can what he thinks the actual periods were by model and by site. So, 55 to 60,000-ish vehicles per quarter. I've got more than that in my forecast for 2023, more like 70,000 in Q2, Q3, and Q4. Then for the Fremont Model Y, last year this was about 60,000 vehicles per quarter. I've got more than that coming in 2023, more like 68,000 vehicles per quarter. Once we get past Q1, because Fremont didn't get 13 weeks worth of production time, and Tesla is continuing to unwind the wave, so I don't expect them to deliver more than they produced. Okay, so there's Fremont. Should do better in 2023 than they did in 2022. Then we cross the Pacific to Shanghai, where we see really strange looking numbers last year, 2022. Very low deliveries number in Q2 because the Shanghai lockdowns happened during Q2, closing that factory for 4 weeks, and then after it reopened at very limited capacity for another 4 weeks. So that accounts for these numbers being the lowest numbers we saw on this row for last year's quarterly deliveries, respectively. Well, what do we think is going to happen in 2023? Well, I've got 63,000, so a little down sequentially here. 126,000, also down sequentially from Q4, so a little lower production here. And then ramping significantly later in the year to higher numbers than we've seen before. We know Shanghai is capable of producing at these levels because they've done it over short periods of time. So just hoping they can be more consistent about producing at those levels. So what's this total out of Shanghai? Last year only 677. This year almost a million. 951,000 is my forecast for deliveries from Shanghai, with a tiny amount of that in Q1. Less than 200,000 of those happening in Q1, with more like 250,000 per quarter in Q2, Q3, and Q4, trying to max out the production from Shanghai. Okay, then what happened at Berlin last year? Very, very few vehicles produced to start the year, and that ramped higher and higher and higher, and I expect that to continue happening throughout 2023 before reaching somewhat of a plateau near the end of the year. What about in 2024? Does this go a lot higher? Yeah, they're expected to make a maximum of 500,000 vehicles per year. So I've got 446 in 2024, and then I've got 483 in 2025. Not trying to assume that they'll be able to make more from Berlin than they've guided, with Model 3s starting to be produced right at the end of 2025. But back here in 2023, I'll move down to the Texas Model Ys and look at those. None in Q1, then about 2,000 in Q2, about 9,000 I think in Q3, about 30,000 in Q4. So really advancing up the S-curve quite rapidly there. And what do we expect in 2023? More of that to occur, right? 48,000, 68,000, 80,000, 90,000. So maybe Model Ys from Austin close to 300,000 for the full year 2023. Then Cybertrucks, maybe Tesla can deliver 69 of those in Q2, maybe not. I'm probably not going to be very far off on this number no matter what in absolute terms. Maybe it'll be 0 in Q2, but maybe it'll be something. Then I've got that starting to ramp up real slow, 3,800 in Q3, 10,000 in Q4. Again, on the scale of Tesla's total production, I don't think any of these are going to end up being way off. Meaning, I don't think Tesla is going to blow the doors off that factory with 100,000 Cybertruck deliveries in 2023 or whatever. I've got less than 15,000 Cybertrucks being produced this year, but then next year I've got that ramping up to maybe 200,000 in 2024, and then maybe close to 400,000 in 2025 is what I've got in my long-term forecast. And for semi, well, we know 34 semis got delivered in Q4. We saw that news. Probably they won't be able to produce a lot more than that many semis this quarter. So I've got about double that, 77 semis. Maybe you double that again in Q2 to 150. Maybe you double that again in Q3 to 300. Maybe 700 in Q4. These numbers seem small in comparison to all the numbers that are above them, But Semi is a whole other beast. It's using a ton of cells per vehicle in its pack or packs. So how many total vehicles? 1,250. Almost right on the nose in 2023. Does that ramp up to insane volume in 2024? No. About 7,000 or 8,000 vehicles in 2024 is my expectation. And then maybe 17,000 semis in 2025. Would I be happy to take this up a lot if Tesla has a ton of cell supply and can make way more semis at a much higher daily production rate? Yeah, I'll be happy to take this up, but that's what's in my forecast for now. And that's how you get to my total deliveries forecast that we saw up at the top. And here's another breakdown of those deliveries by model. So SX, 3, and Y. 3 not ramping up that much from about 478 to about 601. So maybe low 20s% growth rate there. But Model Y ramping up quite a lot from 768 to 1,446,660. Huge growth in Model Y because of Austin and Berlin and Shanghai and Fremont. They're all going to make more Model Ys this year than they made last year. And that's going to account for most of Tesla's deliveries in total, right? You got 2.15 million total deliveries in my forecast, with almost 1.5 million of them being just the Model Y. And then there is a Cybertruck down here and a Semi, but these numbers are pretty small as a percent of the total. And that's my video on Tesla's deliveries by model. So let's check back in with Loki. He's not doing very much right now. Phoning it in, sleeping on the job. And I'll end the video by saying thank you for watching my video. Click the like button if you liked the video. It's free to click the like button. It helps my YouTube channel. More people find my videos if you do that. Or you can leave a comment and say nice things if you would like to. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you can go ahead and take this time to subscribe right there. Click the notification bell if you want to be alerted when I post fresh content. Thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon, where they get early access to my videos the day I upload them, or by joining my YouTube channel, as my two executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Halter Ferguson Financial did. And I'll see you in the next one.